Hello. Today I want to talk about what I think is the biggest impact of large language models on the localization and translation industry, and what makes them most different from neural machine translation. In brief, machine translation quality has intrinsic ceiling, and once you've reached it, further investment into the technology and data have diminishing returns. Also, this improvement happens at the speed you create new translation memories, and it's not very fast. On the contrary, large language models don't have this quality ceiling, and once you've reached what's possible with your existing data assets, you can get to the next level by engineering a multi-agent solution without the necessity to bring more training data. As of today, costs a lot, requires exceptional talent, but it's possible. And this is a huge, crucial difference for enterprises that need to automate translation at the highest quality level possible, and of course for vendors like us. So when you use machine translation, you basically have two options. For a particular language pair, you either use stock models, pay around $20 per million characters and get certain level of quality, or you pull the translation memories and glossaries, customize the model and get to the next level of quality, paying about 4 times more for the translation and also investing some effort into customization and evaluation. After that, further improvements are possible, but they will be pretty slow because of how the old kind of AI works. It doesn't mean that you should not bother with choosing the right machine translation system, cleaning your data and carefully evaluating the trained model. You should, and by doing that you can get to 50, maybe 60% of perfect translations for languages like Spanish, based on your requirements, of course. And if you do it wrong, you may see only 15 to 20%. However, with neural machine translation, going from 60 to 70 will take lots of time. And if you'll have to post-edit same mistakes over and over again until you have collected enough data. And you probably won't ever see 90% of perfect translations, not speaking of 100%. And this leads to the approach commonly used in the enterprise localization, right? So you split all your content to different workflows based on your requirements and risk tolerance. Full automation, human review, post-editing, and sometimes traditional human translation from scratch. And you will, of course, update your glossaries and update your machine translation models based on your post-edits, which will increase translator productivity. And if stars align, next year you'll see 5, 10, 15% better rates. But unlikely it will make you move something which today requires post-editing to full automation. So why does it happen with neural machine translation? Because all your requirements, be it terminology or style guides, occur in your translation memories at a different frequency. And since specialized models like machine translation can only gain your skills from training, they easily grasp high frequency requirements and have issues with low frequency ones. And many of localization guide rules won't have enough examples in the translation memory to be included in the model. There are other limitations that are also significant. So machine translation is trained by showing it good translations, which is not enough. As we know, it's very hard to teach by giving only positive feedback, and every translation is good only for certain quality needs, but there's no way to communicate these nuances when you train the machine translation model. Machine translation can't also account for context. Who is speaking? What's the product category? What's the audience? And finally, machine translation mostly works at the sentence level, limiting both translation consistency and accuracy. There's no way to work around those limitations and radically improve quality if you work with machine translation only. It's like, hitting a light speed barrier. You can pay for a company like Nintendo to optimally train and maintain your machine translation, but then next year it will be hard to show another great leap of efficiency. LLMs offer a different scenario. Since these models can handle almost any language task without additional training, you can create AI agents for different roles in improving translation quality and make them work together. Moreover, you can instruct those models, so if you see a specific deviation from the requirements or want to impose a new rule, it can be done by prompt engineering without actually creating new training data. You may have an agent that improves source content quality, translator agents, post-editor agent, reviewers for each kind of style guide, a proofreader, and even more. This setup will cost more to build, run, and maintain than machine translation. It's slower, but it allows for quality improvements that weren't possible before. Maybe a bold claim, but essentially you can fully automate any translation using this approach, contingent on providing detailed metadata and business requirements. Will it always be cheaper than human translation? Absolutely not. For small translation volumes, you don't want to replace a human translator with a complex system because you'd essentially be paying an AI engineer instead of a translator. But for large recurring content streams needing quick delivery with high quality standards, this approach can be very effective. So to summarize, unlike with machine translation alone, where the quality you get depends on training data you have and also it has some inherent limits, LLMs let you build your premium quality solutions for virtually any translation task. The trade-off is cost and time. For some tasks, the total cost of ownership may significantly exceed the ROI. However, for larger use cases, the ability to move them to full auto at even maybe half a price and 10 times speed of human translation will absolutely worth the investment. This is something that enables AI translation companies address not the small localization software market, but the whole translation market in general. And this means exciting times ahead for all of us in the industry. Thank you.